Ham. I don't know what's going on. All right. Sorry about that, peoples. Um, if there's multiple videos, I'll redo the link. Okay, so let's get into it, man. So Phil did an interview, right? He did an interview with Fortune 500, and the interview was very, very telling. There's some goofy things in here, and as a preface to this, um, this interview apparently occurred before E3. I didn't realize that till the end of the interview where they're talking about things that are going to happen at E3, and you can feel the enthusiasm in Phil's voice because he actually thinks that he actually thinks that that E3 was good until he got the feedback right. Big ups to Phase 11 in the chat. He says it's going to spin it into a negative. Um, hey, look, I ain't got to do no work. And big up to Phase 114. I ain't got to do that work for Phil, man. He does it himself, bro. I ain't got to do that work for Phil, man. All right. So what I was trying to do was I was trying to be fancy and let y'all know that y'all can leave something in the free messaging app. So it ain't working though. Loot box. Let's see if it'll work now. Probably not. Okay, it ain't working. So if you want to leave something in the free messaging app, let's see here. I can't do it. Is it gonna let me do it? Probably will. This link copy. Okay. Now we're gonna go back to editor. Here goes the free messaging app. If you got a question or comment for your boy, while we let the chat fill up and all that other good stuff. Big ups to Luca for retweeting this out while I was getting everything together. She's a big fan of The Boys, which is a great show on Amazon. I urge everybody to watch it, and I thank all of you for retweeting this out. Now let's get back into it, man. So he talked about Stadia and their competition with Stadia. He had some talking points there. He also talked about Microsoft's and Xbox Vision, kind of sort in so many words, not being focused on driving application quality, just the delivery method. There's a lot of delivery method being spoken here. You know what I mean? Not a lot about we're going to give you quality product. He said that the first line party wasn't up to par. He's been saying that since 2017, and they're going to improve the product, but it was vague. So like nothing concrete about what they're planning to do to increase the quote unquote product and increase the quality of the product to whom? Quality to somebody that likes to see a Thieves opposed to quality to an MM2K could be different. Quality to someone that likes to see a Thieves could be give us more DLC, right? There should have been more DLC at release. To MM2K, it's a completely different stratosphere, right? So because of that, it's vague, it's not concrete, and you can't use the scenario of, hey, he bought 14 new studios and now they got 14 new studios, so therefore there's going to be quality there. That doesn't mean anything across the board without concrete details. The guy won't detail what he's doing for hardcore content desirers. He won't spell that out. So unless you're willing to talk in full and total detail, quantitatively, what you're going to give to specific type of gamer here, specific type of gamer there. This is all just business babble. That's all it is. He also talks about the contingent that want to see failure of products from the other side, quote unquote, and just want to see Team Green win. And he's not focused on those type of gamers. You know what I'm saying? He's said this before. This was one of the earlier detracting qualities about Phil Spencer. Something that caught my eye is how he phrased his community, you know, whereas the people that are disgruntled are fanboys. You know what I'm saying? They're fanboys and they don't appreciate the godliness of what Phil's trying to do for all gamers. And I never liked that because there are some silly things out there in the community. Like, I'm going to give you an example. I don't care what Microsoft's delivery method is, personally. I don't care if they want to put it on your phone, if they want to put it on your PC, if they want to put it on your damn toaster, they want to put it on an LCD screen that you can tape to the back of your shoe. You know what I'm saying? I don't care where they put it at. I'm focused on the content. And a lot of people are focused on the content. Now, rightfully so, there are people that are upset about the focus of a demographic of your consumer base, which is the console gamer. I don't think the console gamer so much cares that you're putting your stuff on different platforms. The console gamer cares that while you're putting this stuff on different platforms, you're not stabilizing the benefit of coming to the console. I'll give you a prime example. Coherently just attaching yourself to any device is not going to mean success for all gamers. If I only play on a console and you make your games accessible everywhere, and the majority of the consumer base are people on the phones, then what is said developers' initiative of pushing the fidelity on my console? So let's just say if I'm CD Projekt Red, right? I'm CD Projekt Red, and Cyberpunk 2077 is now on the xCloud. And the xCloud is just an off branch of your overall service, but it is the tea leaf of your overall service. And when I say it's just an off branch, I mean that's the way that they're marketing this. They're marketing this as if it's just an off branch of their overall service when it is the branch of their overall service. So let's just say if this is successful and you do reach the 2 billion gamers. So let's just say if 85% of your player base is on phones and tablets. And let's just say another 13% is on PCs. And only 2% of your gamer base is on a console. What is CD Projekt's Red initiative to make sure that the Scarlet Edition is all bells and whistles and it's the best edition out there? Like it's going to be better than the PlayStation 5. There is none. And the reason why I use CD Projekt Red is CD Projekt Red went out of their way to fully support the Xbox One X. To fully support it more than they have supported any other platform. I'm serious. They were the first up to plate with the Xbox One X as far as supporting it, as far as speaking positively about it. And how has that helped their sales on the platform? The Xbox One sales for Witcher 3 are the lowest anywhere. And now that it's going to be released on the Switch, it might even get overrun on the Switch. Publishers look at that. Yes, the developers are the artists, but the developers answer to who? Publishers. Now, CD Projekt Red, they're independent, but they go to a lot of publishers to market their stuff, and they have a lot more independence, but most of our games ain't coming from them. They're giving us a game, every 5, 6, 7 years. I wish everybody was like CD Projekt Red, but they're not. The fact of the matter is that everybody is more like what EA is doing. Y'all hate EA, but that's what they're doing. Or what a 505 Games is doing. Or what a Warner Brothers is doing. They go where the money's at. These devs answer to these publishers. So when you have Phil on stage talking about the artistry of gaming and all that other stuff, and how people are just going to rampantly support the Xbox One X Enhanced, and when you come out, there's not that consistent difference that makes you want to drop $500 for the box. So therefore, we're not getting the support, the owners of that $500 box, we're not getting the support that we thought we were going to get. A, because they weren't marketing it properly, but B, even if they weren't marketing it properly, the publishers are looking at this as like, why would I have my developers waste their time, go all out for the weakest selling console? Hey, Snow Bunny, period. Why would I do that? So you run into that same conundrum when you talk about the Scarlet. When you talk about the Scarlet, if Microsoft is successful and the overwhelming majority of their gamer base is out there on phones and tablets, then PC comes second and consoles come last, because Phil has said it himself. The name of the game is selling more software and less hardware. They want to sell the least amount of hardware as possible. So if their lowest hit point is their console, and the thing, if the niche with consoles is fidelity, as a publisher, why am I going to waste money with my development team and tell them to go all out for the Xbox One X version? They're not. It's not lucrative. It's a business. So you have to add value to your console. That's the argument. The argument is not only leave it on the console. If you're going to spread it out elsewhere, where is the initiative to make people go buy the console? Where's the cross balance? If you're going to put it everywhere and you're going to take away that value, then how are you supplementing it with another value? You're not. So that's the console gamers argument. And Phil it's not that he don't get it. Phil is smarter than everybody. He's smarter than me. He's smarter than you listening. He's smarter than you guys that cap for him. He's smarter than everybody. It's not that he don't get it. He don't care. So he speaks more to that in this interview. He talks about the contingent who wants to see the failure of other products. What he's trying to do is he's trying to add talking points to just inherent competition. Because when you go like 19 minutes into the video, and I urge you to all watch the video, this is when I really get disgusted. I really get disgusted when he talks about competition as he says, the interviewer, I don't know who this guy is, but he did a fantastic job. Hey, Fortune Magazine, you are doing your interviewers and your people that contribute to you a disservice when you put something like this out there on YouTube and you don't drop the full credits. This guy deserves full credit. He did not let loose on Phil Spencer. He asked him the tough questions because Phil Spencer's a polarizing guy. And this is I'm not talking about outside of Xbox. I'm talking about within the Xbox breath. He's a polarizing guy. So he deserved to get the hard questions. So my message to Fortune Magazine, don't do people like this a disservice. Put the full credits out there. I need to know who this guy is. That's it. The guy asked Phil Spencer, well, what about inherent competition? You're always talking about fanboy this and fanboy that, but people, the imagery of Satya and Yoshida shaking hands rattled people. This is the imagery. You got to understand that, right? He says to Phil. And he says, what people are looking for, in so many words, what he says is what people are looking for is they're looking for that inherent competition to drive quality. And here's where Phil exposes and unsheaths his gaming philosophy, which I think speaks volumes. Phil says that inherent competition doesn't drive quality. He says what drives competition really, in their eyes, is the fight for dollars and attention. Now, if you don't know where that is a phrase that is regurgitated from somewhere else. And if you don't know where that's regurgitated from, it is something that Netflix has said not too long ago. Netflix said that in a conference call or somewhere where they were talking about their biggest competitor right now is Fortnite. Because they're in a fight for attention and dollars. So Fortnite is their biggest competitor. And being that Microsoft sees themselves as the gaming version of Netflix, now they're regurgitating that same thing. And here's what I have a problem with. The fact of the matter is that you want to regurgitate and put out here this moniker that you're the Netflix of gaming, when you're not even following Netflix's model. I showed you in an earlier video where Netflix's most money-making and most popular content is their own self-created content. Orange is the New Black and Stranger Things. They are putting out quality content. They are going to the ends of the earth. Sometimes they're not even in the black. They're in the red some quarters to put out that quality content. Not you, Microsoft. Everything's about the dollars. And if it's about the dollars, only then does it make sense. And the fact that when he talks about competition, the only thing he brings up is Fortnite, Minecraft, Fortnite, Minecraft, Fortnite, Minecraft. When he talks about competition. So that shows you that their main focus is on the kiddie stuff. It's on the coffee shop gaming. They're not trying to sell you quality. They're trying to sell you connectivity. He talks about all the time in this interview how it's about the connecting the community. That's all he's talking about. He only references the Gears because Gears was a big debate thing years ago during the Play Anywhere phase. That's the only reason why he brought up Gears in this whole interview. The whole time, he's talking about connectivity, and coffee shop type of games, and just fighting for your attention and your dollars, like Netflix. But again, Netflix puts out quality content for its hardcore subscribers. And what Microsoft is doing is they're in the lab trying to create something that focuses on connectivity, and they've just batting zero right now. First it was Sea of Thieves. Then it was State of Decay 2 without the storyline and just focusing on the connectivity, the games as a service. They're not trying to put out quality and then attach games as a service to it later. It has to be games as a service, and the intricacies of the game will be tacked on during the process. And the only hardcore AAA games that they're willing to dedicate themselves to, because they have already been inbred as a games as a service model, is Halo, Gears, and Forza. That's it. Maybe Fable. So, for those of you that are doubtful on why people like me keep ringing the bell, Phil Spencer ain't that dude, man. He's not that guy. Phil is not the guy. I mean, people talk, look, another thing too, people talk about, you have all these cappers out here too, that talk about, hey, you know, Phil was solely responsible for the biggest deals in Xbox history, Minecraft and Game Pass. No. Game Pass is a derivative of Satya's mind state before they even put Phil in his position. Before Phil even took over for Donnie D. Saatchi was going all around the world doing the Saatchi Nadella World Tour. Hey world, time to meet who I am. Time to see who I am. Time to meet me. He was talking about how Microsoft as a whole was aligning itself with cloud technology. Everything was. So he was talking about the groundwork of Game Pass before Phil was even promoted. Before Phil took over for Donnie D. So Game Pass is the derivative of Saatchi's child, okay? Saatchi's brainchild. In a more recent interview with investors, Saatchi told y'all that his end vision for all Microsoft products is you just go to one hub, and while you're doing your taxes on Excel through Microsoft Office 365, you can sit there and boop. All right, I'm taking a break. Let me play some Gears of War. That they just want to connect everything together. That Microsoft is transitioning into a delivery service, not a quality production service. They want to give you baseline and streamlined tools that fit into your future narratives, but they want to be the main delivery system for those tools. They don't want to be the best at gaming. They just want to give you gaming in so many places that you prefer to go to them. They don't want to be the best at anything as far as this is concerned. They just want to be everywhere. And they want to be your preferred choice of a hub because they're in more places than anybody. That's their philosophy. And he just spelled it out in this interview. Phil said he doesn't believe in inherent competition is going to drive quality. How don't you believe that inherent competition drives quality? When you're a product maker. I mean, this dude got animated. He got mad. He said, no, it's all about dollars and attention. And Fortnite, Minecraft. So all this AAA stuff that we've been asking for, forget about it. And he's going to continue to talk about his brass of his core like fanboys that want to drive Sony down. That's bullshit. And Lord forgive me on the Sunday. But that's bullshit. All of these people out here that favor Xbox, including myself. I've always had a PlayStation. Well, not all. I mean, I've had a PlayStation each generation. When the original Xbox was my favorite console, I had a PlayStation. Man, we had PlayStation games out the wazoo. PlayStation 2 games. We were always on that thing. That's bullshit. We don't want PlayStation to go away. Inherent competition is good. So basically what I'm trying to say is Phil doesn't look at competition. Phil doesn't look at quality this way. You got two racers. I'm going to pull somebody out the chat. My homie No Russian. Me and my homie No Russians we're doing a 40-yard dash. On your march, get set, go, boom. Because me and No Russian is on that track field and we're doing a 40-yard dash. I'm the fastest man. I got the fastest record. No Russian is number 2 in the world after our last race. He don't see the fact that we're trying to outdo each other and get even a faster time as a good thing. What Phil would want MM2K to do is just simply say, you know what? All this training, all this, this advertisement, all these posters about me being the best, all about me having the best time on this field, man, it ain't worth it, man. I don't care what y'all came here to the stadium and paid all y'all money for. I don't care about that anymore. What I care about is the fact that I like to run, but I'm not out here to run and provide y'all the best. I just want to run and still get y'all dollars. So halfway through the race, I just walk off the field. And the homie No Russian turns to his right, says, whoa, What? He's inherently going to slow down. See, that's how me and you look at competition. He may win the race, but he's inherently going to slow down because now he doesn't have me driving him anymore. I beat him last race and I just gave up. So his mind automatically goes to, well, I'm in charge. Now I can go at my own pace. See, Phil don't like pressure. Phil buckles the pressure. And Microsoft inherently, with this whole state of mind, this whole Redmond state of mind, this whole Silicon Valley state of mind, they don't believe we're dealing with pressure as far as inherent competition. The only thing they want to compete for is patents and licenses behind the scenes. They don't want to have to answer to the public and deal with that pressure in front of the masses. But it's that pressure in front of the masses that drives quality. Heat and pressure to coal makes what? A diamond. Not sugar water. You don't pour sugar water on coal and get a diamond. You just get soggy coal. I can't barbecue with no soggy coal. I can't go to the jewelers with the soggy coal. It's useless to me. So with that said, I got a problem with that. If you have something that you would like for me to cover during this stream, just drop it in the free messaging app. You know what I'm saying? I'll go over it while I'm going over my spill and sweating the back of my neck, all sweating the beat. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was disgusted. It was around the 19-minute mark when I heard him say this. 19 minutes and 10 seconds rather. And I was ready to stop listening to the video and go and do a live stream right then and there. And I said, no, to be fair, let me listen to the rest of this video. I was utterly disgusted. I was repulsed to hear that inherent competition does not drive quality. So in that example that I just gave you, me and No Russian on the track, I just beat him the last race. He's like, oh man, I'm going to kill it this time. I'm going to break the world record. That's what everybody came to see. So therefore, we're giving that quality presentation to the crowd. I just halfway, Microsoft is sponsoring me now, right? So I just halfway walk off the field. They're like, no, man, you're going to put too much strain on your legs, man. Just walk off the field, man. That's Microsoft's philosophy. What they want to do is they believe that if me and No Russian work together, that without that pressure, that the fact that we're just out here running will be a cool thing. And they just want to do a dog and pony show with me on different tracks. Let No Russian run for the fastest time. But as long as M2K's everywhere, and y'all can see him and y'all like his personality, then maybe we can sell you that. That's why I tell y'all, Microsoft is not trying to sell you on quality. When they say that they want to do better with their first party, they just want to get more sales. So they're just looking for a bigger pool to hit the masses. They weren't able to successfully hit the masses with Sea of Thieves. They weren't able to hit the masses with State of Decay 2. So they're going to keep throwing things to the wall that sticks until they hit the masses and they find a hook that keeps people playing. But hooks and quality aren't synonymous. Pick up the Jazz 7780 GMG. Said I fell out of the chair too. I'm going to do a video on that. That is bull. It is bull. Competition inherently drives quality. And to me, that's a cop-out. You know why that's a cop-out? That's a cop out because they have this talking point. And again, me working in the Fortune 500 world, I know talking points when I see them because I've been responsible for composing them and then reciting them myself. Okay. So he has this talking point where when Stadia is brought up, he'll say, this is not a strike against anybody. I don't know if you guys caught that, but it was reminiscent of the Giant Bomb interview that he did after E3. This is not a strike against anybody, but we don't want to tell you to go from one ecosystem to another ecosystem. So you believe in inherent competition, but you don't believe in inherent competition that requires you to show and prove in front of the crowd. But why be dishonest about it? Why not go behind the scenes and say, why be dishonest about it? Why not just say, hey, we appreciate Sony for the type of games that they create. And as a competitor with Sony, as a pleasant competitor, we have a different focus. We think all of the different lanes that we serve as game, and Nintendo has a different focus. We think all of the lanes that we serve as gaming helps create a unique experience and a unique opportunity for all gamers. You know what I'm saying? But we do believe in inherent competition, and we hope that you see value in the lane that we're driving in as far as gaming is concerned. But you know why they don't say that? Because the lane that they're driving in is full of garbage. They know it's garbage. But they need you, the hardcore content creator, the hardcore content desirer or the hardcore content consumer. They still need your money until they can springboard into the coffee shop crowd wholeheartedly. So they're not going to say that. But their end game, as Satya Nadella said repeatedly in that interview or that investor call that he did recently, their end game is not to be caught by any portion of the hardcore content crowd. You are on the left side of the stadium. They are jumping completely to the right side of the stadium, and they're hoping that part of the crowd is what catches them. Definitely. It's absurd to believe. It's absurd to continue to believe that it is okay to live off the mind state that Phil is a nice guy. He means well. He just doesn't get it yet. When they figure it out, it's going to be great for us. Just give them time to figure it out. It is absurd to believe that. Phil is a smart guy. Phil has been in this business with Microsoft, I want to say since the late 90s, I believe. Maybe early 2000s. Phil is smarter 99 times out of 100 when Phil walks into a room. He's smarter than 99% of the people that are in that room. As a businessman and listening to how he delivers his words, and he knows how to twist things to the listener to make them believe one thing when he's actually saying something else. I know that. Phil is the smartest guy in the room 99 times out of 100. You don't need to give the richest company in the world every other quarter. They're battling ABC company every other quarter for being the richest company in the world. We don't need to give the richest company in the world time to figure it out. At the end of last generation, when Sony had no money, they lost $4 to $5 billion in gaming. They were beginning to retool their first party lineup to the appeasement of their fans this generation. they still gave you games. They were just what? Second party games. And they were second party games that what? That they knew that their fans would appreciate. Phil has come out in the aftermath of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, of the Tomb Raider fiasco, scared of his own shadow because of and I will say this, and to be fair, the abhorrent coverage of the Tomb Raider reboot deal, that was abhorrent. You had people like Eurogamer stuff that were whining and crying about a game being exclusive to Microsoft, but now those same people are applauding exclusive deals with Sony. Sony's just killing us. So again, that's why I subscribe to there was being media bias. But Microsoft's always had to deal with media bias. They have never been the darling of the media. It's just that Microsoft of past looked past that media, pulled out the stick and beat you with it and forced you to respect them by coming up with superior products. This Microsoft is so careful with everything that they say and the perception that they stumble over themselves and they end up not being fully transparent and honest with you. You don't believe in inherent competition drives quality? Are you serious? You can't be. Steph, keep it a G. Phase 114. Yes, absolutely. Wholeheartedly. He says Mike Ybarra should take over. Again, everybody, this is not Xbox hate. Your boy don't hate Xbox. This is my problem. And why I stay beating on this drum. I love legacy Xbox games. I love the legacy Xbox experience. I am not a PlayStation fan. I don't like their content all like that. So a gamer like me who loved the Xbox content and seeing it dwindle away and only be a shell of his former self, I'm forced to go to a side of the fence that I really don't care for. So when y'all sit there and say, just sign the contract, MM2K, or just get a play, it's not that simple for me. And Legacy Xbox drove the type of content that I like, that I adore. So that's like me being, again, and I'm an older gamer now. And again, y'all may sit there and say, well, you old, who cares about older gamers? Number one, the people making your games are my age. The games that you love are my age. And two, the age of the average gamer is in the 30s or above. Hence the name of our network, one of our networks, the PNTS network, which is an acronym for Pencil Neck 30-something. The acronym was used to represent that we represent the majority of the hardcore gaming brass, which is the 30 plus, the age of 30 plus. So with that being said, yes, Mike Ybarra should take over. Definitely. I have no faith in Phil Spencer's ability to work with Satya's challenging. I will say that. I don't have any faith in Phil Spencer's ability to work with Satya's challenging business strategy. It is challenging to want to spread your games everywhere and be accessible everywhere. You are sliding your base. But there's a way to do it. There's a way to satisfy Satya and do good by your base. Prime example. While Phil was focusing on Sea of Thieves and all this coffee shop gaming stuff, in comes Mike Ybarra. Man, there's this game that I'm playing on PC. It's fantastic. What is it? It's PUBG. I think Xbox fans would love this game. Really? Really? Let's get it on the platform. That was all Mike Ybarra. If Mike Ybarra didn't do that, we wouldn't even have PUBG. Now, we can say what we want about PUBG, but PUBG reinvigorated the brass like no other game within the last 3 years, except for maybe a Gears of War 5. It had, 4 to 5 million players in 2 days. Hell, I even stole my wife's credit card to go get me a copy of the game. It was something to be excited about, right? No other Xbox exclusive, whether it was timed or not, did that within the last 3 years. Maybe, if all, period. Opposite of Halo and maybe some Gears 4, but nothing was like that. Nothing grew fast. Nothing grabbed the attention, grabbed the mind share of the Xbox consumer like PUBG. Phil wasn't responsible for that, and Phil is a PC gamer, but that's not his cup of tea. That was all Mike Ybarra. So within the Satya Nadella framework, we were able to still get the coffee shop games, but Mike Ybarra was able to come through with PUBG. And that's what we need. We need somebody. Look, Satya is the CEO. And we're going to have this multifaceted delivery system, which I really don't care about. But I think Mike Ybarra would have enough wherewithal to do it in a way to still satisfy what Satya wants, bring the hardcore content like MM2K is asking for, and still find a way to bring real value to the console. Whether it's you bring value through the Xbox subscriptions or you do something. I think Mike Ybarra is minded to do all three. Well, Phil is not minded to do all three. Phil is only focused on one. And he's one and a half. He's focused on doing what Satya wants him to do as far as connectivity is concerned. And he's halfway there as far as console gaming. And that's because Microsoft makes $2 billion off Xbox Live. So that's why. Frankly. But I'm going to cover this throughout the week, the upcoming week. It's not going to be the only thing that I cover. I'm going to do, I got a video coming tomorrow that touches on something else, but then it goes back. Then I'm going to, touch on this some more and some other things. But I just implore my fellow gamers. Like, I get it. We got the PlayStation people across the street teasing us all the time and saying all this foul stuff about us. But don't be that guy that walks out of your house one day and because your neighbor, the one that you don't like, says, hey, your house is on fire, you just don't want to give them a leg up on anything. You just ignore them and just go off to work, only to come back to find your house burnt to the ground. Don't do that. Just because the PlayStation people spotted the issue doesn't mean that they're geniuses. It just means that it's obvious. That's all it means, that this problem is obvious. That Phil Spencer is not in tune with the hardcore content consumer. And he does not plan to satisfy you outside of what they already have. And I don't care what you say about the initiative. Again, per the product and services that have been released under Phil's helm, I don't care who they hire. I am convinced that they are hiring all this AAA talent that has been known to crank out stellar AAA games every, 5, 6, 7 years. That they're hiring them to maybe crank out awesome AA titles every 2 or 3 years. You see what I'm saying? In my mind, and per everything that I've seen, they are getting top-notch AAA development to help crank out more frequently good, catchy AA games that will appeal to the masses. My homie California Kid, man, he's an intern over at Microsoft. No, big ups to California Kid, man. California Kid said, every day you cry like a female. It's corny. Well, California Kid, I appreciate the fact that you love corny, baby. Because you always up in my DMs or my chats. But no, it's cool, though. It's cool. Here's the thing, California Kid. It depends on what you're looking for as far as content is concerned. If you're looking for the Microsoft or Xbox version of Nintendo Power, then you're in the wrong channel. You have the wrong YouTuber. Where I'm just picking out the glory stuff of Microsoft and I'm regurgitating it out for people that want someone to speak to the choir. I'm not here to speak to the choir. I'm a hardcore content gamer. That's why I came to Xbox. Xbox is lying in a lot of ways and being very deceitful to a lot of people that are itching for that same type of content. And because they're being totally dishonest about this, and this channel is a channel for the consumer, for the unaware gamer, we're going to continue to hammer in that point until they stop being deceptive. Let me give you an example. Nintendo Switch. You notice how I don't do any Nintendo and God forgive me, Snow Bunny. But you notice how I don't do any Nintendo content here? I have nothing against Nintendo. Nintendo, well, up until recently, because they really knocked it out the park with some hardcore content. But Nintendo, for me, does not scratch that hardcore itch. Notice I don't say anything about Nintendo. I don't dog them or tweet about them. I might pick with Bear in the here and there. You know why, California Kid? Because they're honest about what their product is. So if you want me to stop speaking on behalf of the consumer on a routine basis, whether I'm regurgitating the same thing in a different way, and you prefer for a Fortune 500 company to come out here and say the same shit the same way, oh, we know our first party ain't good, but we're working on it. Oh, Fortune magazine, we're gonna do better than E3. Yeah, Jeff Keighley. Yeah, we know we could do better. If you're okay with them regurgitating their stuff to deceive the consumer, but you got a problem with MM2K looking out on behalf of the consumer, then I think you got to reevaluate your choices. Sounds like a you problem, but you still the homie. So, yeah, man, we're gonna chop it up. We're gonna talk more about this week. But again, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I mean, again, around 19 minutes and 10 seconds into the video, man, he talks about competition, and here competition is not what's going to drive quality and drive success. It's all about just attention and dollars. If that doesn't lay it out for you guys, then I don't know what does for the cappers. Damn, why am I so? Hey, the beauty of sound and motion. My bad. I have a filter to lower my voice, man. Who was that? My homie Nell Bastard. He was trying to sneak a peek of what MM2K live stream, and I was loud in the theater. Everybody could hear him. They tried to throw him out the theater. I have a gain filter on here. Yeah, I dropped my volume 30%, man. I don't know what's going on. It's just the truth penetrates. The truth penetrates. It got people like my man California Kid coming out of their sleep, coming out of Phil's office. Oh man, I gotta come out here cap for Phil. Oh man. But yeah, I'm wow, man. I'm disgusted. I ain't gonna front, man. I'm wholeheartedly disgusted. You know, again, the continued focus, the continued deceiving of other gamers that try by Phil trying to wrap us all in a cloak that we want to see Sony fail. I don't want to see Sony fail. Like I said, every generation I've had a Sony product to try out their exclusives, to give what they do a taste. It's come to fruition for me this gen. Well, no, in PlayStation 2 generation. Oh, King of Fighters and Siphon Filter and SOCON, those was my games. Not so much last generation, except for maybe Uncharted, you know. But this generation, yeah, you know, God of War. I God of War, man. It's a good game. It's a good game. It was definitely worth getting a PlayStation 4 for. And it's driving the footprint of gaming this generation. He talks about none of that in that realm. Everything is about pure connectivity. Phil is trying to sell you connectivity. But back to the point that I was saying, it's not about me not liking me not liking PlayStation and wanting them to drive them to the ground. No. I want to see two racers on the track. I do. Microsoft doesn't want to do that. Microsoft doesn't want to deal with that upfront pressure. They want to do the Silicon Valley stuff where they only compete behind the scenes and you just sit there and you wait until they pop out of the box with something. Oh, this is what we've been doing behind the scenes. Here you go. And then with Microsoft, or with Xbox in particular, you don't know if it's just an idea that they're throwing at you or if it's, you know what I'm saying, or if it's something that is going to come to fruition. There's so many things that they tell you too early in flight or in development that they haven't even confirmed is something that they're going to roll with, that they got you sitting there like, oh man, well, we may not be getting the AAA games right now. We may not be getting that typical Xbox content, but at least they're going to come forward with this, or they're going to come forward with that. And they fall flat on their face. Oh man, that Xbox One X is going to be VR ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop. Oh man, they working on Crackdown 3. They're trying to get it to the quality of Halo, Gears, and Forza. It may not be there, but you know, it's going to be at least a decent 75 to 80. No. They're just selling you hope. I'm sorry. Their main selling point is connectivity. They're trying to sell you connectivity. They're trying to sell you a community. They're trying to go back to what, like I always liken it to, trying to deliver you cold pizza, cold uncooked pizza in a jetpack. And the fact that they're showing up in a jetpack and they're so nice and they're shaking your hand and they're giving the kids lollipops, you're supposed to appreciate that and you're supposed to love that and endure that. Even though you got to take this pizza in the house now and finish cooking it yourself. You got to throw it in the oven. The fact that they took the time to come to you in this jetpack, you're supposed to be appreciative of that. And that's what their lineup is. They give you this bottom of the barrel type shit. Sea of Thieves, Crackdown, right? State of Decay 2. And then you make the game fun. You just go in there and you got to make the game fun by interacting with different people and have fun. No, the interaction and the connectivity is supposed to be the icing on the cake. The core of the game is the game itself, the game experience itself. The icing on the cake, the thing that is the lore that keeps you coming to said good content is the connectivity. And Microsoft don't understand that. Microsoft wants to make the lore the focus. The lore cannot be the focus. The lore is the hook. But you can't hook somebody to shitty content. Ruth Chris Steakhouse can't come out to me and say, MM2K, you know what? We've run out of steak. But here you go, sir. A shit sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Here goes a butter knife so you can slice it, sir. No. They can't do that. I need steak. Now the lore is MM2K. Every 3 meals, 4th meal is free. Or, every other Tuesday, you get to bring a companion in for free. Or, you know what I'm saying? Or we give you free wine. Those are the hooks. You know what I'm saying? Or we got footrest for you. You know what I'm saying? But Microsoft wants to sell you on the hooks, not the content themselves. And that's the problem. And that's why, because of that, is why you get bullshit content or comments like inherent competition doesn't drive quality. It made me want to throw up in my mouth, man. And I'm going to tell you this. I am disgusted with Phil Spencer's continuous dismissiveness towards the hardcore. There are some French people that say some French things. I get that. But there is a reason why people came to Xbox. So you're not being honest. You're pivoting from what they came for. And you're utilizing their funds dishonestly to help springboard you into something else. Instead of doing a slight pivot and still giving them at least smaller portions of what they are used to or what they desire, you completely pivoted, but you're being dishonest about it. Just wait, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And then you just bring them out a shit sandwich. And then you disparage them by calling them fringe or acting like they're fringe because you did a switcheroony. I'm disgusted with that. And I'm disappointed in that. But I am really taken aback by this whole mind state and this approach of inherent competition doesn't drive quality. Again, I'll say this before I go. That drives everything. That drives the narrative. Their competition right now, as far as the hardcore content creation or hardcore content consumer is concerned, is what Sony is doing. Even in a large extent what Nintendo is doing now. They had a more hardcore gamer show than they did at E3. So if what you're saying is that you are not thriving to outdo them with that type of content, then you're not for me. And you're not for the hardcore content consumer. So, even to the dismay of many, to the dismay of the cappers, to the dislike of my homie, California Kid. That's my homie. I'm picking. That's what we do. I'm picking on my homie, but California Kid is a good dude. But to the dismay of California Kid, I'm gonna keep hammering it home because you're out deceiving people. And the MM2K echo chamber is not at volume as the Microsoft echo chamber. They have a wider reach. They're Microsoft. I'm just MM2K. I'm just recording this from my sweaty ass studio. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like 1,000 degrees up here right now. But what I'm hoping is I can hit home with enough people that they can continue the message on and they can spread the message on. So gamers aren't misinformed. So we force Microsoft to be straightforward and honest about their product placement. What is it that you're trying to do? And then with what you're trying to do, where does the hardcore content creator fit into that realm? Stop giving us this bullshit of we don't drive what type of content our developers make. That's bullshit. You made the developers of Crackdown 3 go back to the drawing board because you didn't like the product of Crackdown 3, quote unquote, in your mind. You didn't feel like an agent, quote unquote, like an agent. You gave direction to Rare early on about Sea of Thieves as far as it being first person and certain things like that. And that was exposed in that Eurogamer interview from 2017. So stop with the bullshit that you don't have direction or you don't drive the type of content that your developers want to make. Everybody does. Everybody does. It's just about how skilled are you in doing it? How skilled are you in overseeing that content? And if you truly care about the hardcore content consumer, then you will make sure that there is X percentage of hardcore content games coming out there. That's all we're asking for. So until you do, I mean, it's a given. You're not for me. You're not for me, and I'm going to say this right now. I give up on Microsoft. I give up on Microsoft. I'm done. I'm done. I know I said that before, but I'm done. That's, right before Gears 5 comes out. I'm done. I didn't come to Microsoft for them to, on a conveyor belt, push out the same 3 AAA games and then wait for third-party devs to do it and you just enhance their experience. Because I can get the best experience on PC for a third-party game. I need to know why specifically I need to be embedded in your ecosystem. And as a hardcore content consumer, you're not doing that. But you're lying to me and you're telling me just wait, and it's coming. So I'm done with Xbox. I'm done with them. But I will continue to drive the message home to the unaware gamer. So they're aware. But mark it down. July 28th, 2019, 1:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. MM2K is officially done. I'm not an Xbox gamer. No. That's repulsive to me. It's disgusting. I was nostalgic for the brand. It's dead in the water as far as I'm concerned. They're turning to a whole nother direction. As far as I'm concerned, Xbox gaming is dead. But, hey, Microsoft is the company that owns it. They decide whether it's officially dead or not. Who am I? I'm just MM2K. But what I am going to do is I'm going to make sure that the unaware gamer is informed, that they know of what's going on here with Microsoft, and that not to believe that hardcore content is the cornerstone of their product any further. So with that said, yeah, very melancholy at the end of this for MM2K. But I want to thank everybody that came through, that heard me babble. The beauty of sound and motion. Sorry if I blew out your eardrums. My homie California Kid, man, I appreciate you coming through. You know what I'm saying? Steph keeping it G, Phase 114, Jazz 7780 GMG, Twisted Sin, Snow Bunny, Trader Great. I appreciate all of y'all. This is your boy MM2K. Stay tuned to the channel. We doing some great things. You know what I'm saying? And also, if you haven't already, please go to my Twitch channel. This is where we in opposite of what Phil is doing with trying to in opposite of what Phil is trying to do to disparage hardcore gaming content. We're doing the polar opposite. We're highlighting hardcore content, hardcore gaming, hardcore media, anime, martial arts. It's called the Hard Knock Digital channel. Hard Knock Digital Culture, on twitch.tv. I appreciate you, Nick Taylor 4K, man. It's sad, man. It's hard for me to even end the stream. I know y'all got stuff to do. It's just sickening, man. This is just, I don't know if it's the heat getting to me or this is it. This is it, bro. This is it. For Xbox gamers that came for that original legacy Xbox content, this is it. And I think there was a reason why, even though they filmed this interview before E3, I think there was a reason why they waited till now to do it. It was probably embargoed or something, because they knew how destructive just those few comments were from Phil. Utterly disgusting, man. Utterly disgusting. But I appreciate it, Butch. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Just... everybody got a decision to make. I'm gonna shut up after I say this. We all got a decision to make. Yes, you and I may have preferences, and yes, we may want to hold the flag for those preferences. But in my mind, you should hold the flag for those preferences when they're providing you a reason to plant that flag, when they're giving you the quality services and product. Now, I get sometimes companies go through a rebuilding phase. Hell, Sony had to go through one after the hack, right? You know what I'm saying? But they got on stage and in complete detail, no mysteries, did they spell out that they failed their consumers, and they spelled out the type of content that they were going to give those consumers. They told you what the remedies were. We got Phil Spencer on there trying to be charmful. Oh, yeah, I'm unaware. I don't know what I'm doing. Trying to play that Urkel role. And people just gobbling it up. But he's not spelling out in full detail what he's going to do to remedy the problem. He told you he bought studios. What are those studios going to produce? Well, I don't like, masterminding what my studios put out there. That's a bold-faced freaking lie. You held back Crackdown 3 from Sumo Digital. You gave real specific direction for Sea of Thieves. Stop it. You continue to lie and deceive at astronomical levels, more than any other typical business in this realm. Stop it. And until we hold them up to par, we're doing a disservice to fellow gamers. There are people out there that don't know what's going on with Xbox. There are people out there that were invested in other ecosystems and said, oh, I might come back to Xbox. They might be dropping that hardcore content. I heard Phil Spencer, he said they bought 14 new studios. And they're looking, and it sounds like they might be dropping more content. Let me go buy this Xbox Sad Edition that's for $199. I'm going to tell that consumer, oh, you're looking for hardcore content out of Xbox besides Gears 5? No! No, let's think about this decision in totality. I'm going to do my fellow gamer a service and be honest with them. And the more y'all try to cap for Phil to make you feel better about your purchase, the more shallow you look. Don't get mad at me. I dropped a lot of money in this ecosystem too. I'm human. I ain't got to be the sharpest pencil. I got tricked just like y'all did. I ain't got to sit there and stand firm. Me not give up an inch. No. We got bamboozled. I want to see gaming improve for all gamers. So for those that want that hardcore content, Microsoft is not in the lane to deliver that content to you on a consistent basis. If that's what you're looking for and you're eyeing the Xbox system, don't get it. Period. Don't get it. They are not dedicated to that type of content. Amazing. I had a good friend of mine, contact me during the, and I didn't share this with you guys because it flew off my radar because of other stuff I was doing. I had a good friend of mine who contacted me and said, MM2K, I heard that there was this Xbox One SAD out there. I'm looking for an Xbox. I heard there was an Xbox One SAD out there for $199 during that Amazon deal. Like, can I find one? Can I find that? Can I get a deal like that? That's not a bad deal. I got a couple extra dollars right now. Kind of looking to extend my library, see what Xbox is offering with this Game Pass. What do you say? I said, well, what? I said, I have Game Pass both on PC and console. What is it that you like? He's like, oh man, I like the Fallout and the BioShocks and stuff like you do. It's a guy that I talk to, I said, you still into those type of games? Like, yeah. I said, do you want to get them after the fact or you want them when they brand new? He's like, no, man, I'm really interested in Game Pass because of the first party content that's coming in a day and date. I think that's a great deal. So when I went over the list of the lineup, he was like, is that it? I was like, yeah, that's it. He's like, oh, no, bro. I'll see what happens when that Halo Infinite drops. What else is coming with that Halo Infinite? And he didn't buy the console. And I did my fellow gamer a service. I'm not going to come out there and cap anymore. If you've experienced what Xbox has to offer and you like it, God bless you. That's fine. I don't care. I'm not upset. I'm not mad at you. What I'm perturbed about are the people that are telling you, just wait. Just wait, it's coming. If you choose to wait, that's fine. If you want to have that belief, if you want to buy and spend $9.99 or $60 a year on hope, that's on you. That's your money. You have every right to do that. But to get out here on social media and tell people, well, just wait, Phil said, without showing the whole picture, showing how Phil said A and Z end up happening. How Phil told you B and Y end up happening. How Phil told you C and A. Without showing the complete picture, you're doing your fellow gamer a disservice. And you're doing it for a very shallow reason. You want to validate your purchase. And if the console war doesn't matter anymore, the console war doesn't matter to me anymore. It don't. If the console war doesn't matter anymore, then why are you sitting there having these console arguments, these console fanboy arguments? Well, the PlayStation sad sold more than the PlayStation. The Xbox sad sold more than the PlayStation 4. Why on Amazon Prime Day? Why are we having console boy arguments out here on social media if the console war is over? It doesn't make sense to me. We're going to tell the whole picture. And as long as Phil contradicts himself, as long as Phil is trying to utilize the hardcore content base for their funds to help springboard them to a totally different group, and once he finally gets a good grasp on that group, he is totally washing away any symbolism of hardcore content except for Halo and Gears, and maybe Forza and Fable. Until that is the heir apparent strategy, I am not letting up. And you cannot be dismissive towards that if you're trying to help your fellow gamer. If you're not trying to be shallow and not just validate your purchase for everybody else to like it too. Be honest with them. Right now, they don't have that content. They say they're building content, but we don't know what type of content they're building. Here are the things in totality that Phil has said. And to be honest with you, the majority of his focus, when he talks and he speaks, is not on hardcore content. So if you're looking to Xbox for that type of content, you may want to hold off. You may want to hold off. Don't invest in Game Pass. Just hold off. Let's see what they're going to do next generation. There's nothing wrong with saying that. I'm enjoying it, but you may want to hold off. Okay, with that said, people, again, very sad realization, very sad day. Disgusted just comes to mind over and over again. Because it doesn't have to be this way. Again, Mike Ybarra showed us how we can handle Satya's challenging proposal as far as being everywhere. How you handle that and still provide hardcore content as well. And not hardcore content only. Even if the margins between your hardcore content and your coffee shop content, if it grows more to the the coffee shop side, we understand that. That's how you're going to reach 2 billion gamers with that type of content. So we understand that. But still, there should be a consistent flow of hardcore content. You're completely abandoning growing that library. And it's time for us as gamers to stop focusing on validating our purchase and being honest. So again, I want to thank everybody. Nick Taylor 4K for joining, and Butch as well. I thank y'all for y'all contributions and all that other stuff. And maybe I'll do a game stream later today. That Wolfenstein Youngblood is some good shit. I might do it here, but I might just do it on the Hard Knock Digital Culture channel. There it goes. The link to it right there on twitch.tv/MightyMost2000. With that said, I want to thank everybody for coming. Appreciate y'all. And keep your heads up, man. I'm trying. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.